Welcome everybody to the first ever Call of Duty Modern Warfare gameplay on my channel. The footage you're seeing in the background initially was going to be part of a cut commentary that I recorded earlier. However, the file completely corrupted whenever I would try to render it, and so as a result I'm trying to savor this footage by turning it into a commentary. And what I want to talk about today are the things that I liked about this 2v2 gunfight game mode that we got for this Modern Warfare Alpha. Basically, the features that I liked about the game itself and about the mode. First of all, I want to get my only issue with this experience out of the way. I had some issues connecting to servers, however, I will give it a pass because I do understand that this is an alpha, this is not the full game, so server issues are to be expected, and I'm hoping that Activision will receive some feedback, or Infinity Ward actually, to actually change some of these things and hopefully have the servers up and running perfectly for when the full game is supposed to release. It's obviously not a deal breaker, it was just a small issue, but I did realize that getting into lobbies was a little bit difficult, but after those issues subsided, I actually had a lot of fun. I am very, very surprised to say, because I did go into this with a skeptical mindset, thinking to myself that I was going to point out the things that I didn't like, but very shockingly, I enjoyed my time playing this game. Now, granted, I don't know how much replayability this 2v2 game mode is going to have, because after all, it's all the content we have until the beta, which comes out September 12th. So I don't know how long this game mode is going to be fun for. I could definitely see how just for one weekend it could be some fun to hop onto, and I definitely will spend a little bit of time with it. However, I am absolutely not like quaking in my boots to go back and play this game. Sitting down and editing this video isn't going to be as much of a chore as when the full game comes out, because when the full game comes out, I will absolutely only want to play this game and I won't want to sit down and edit. However, I don't feel that with this, and that's very strange because I do like what I played. I do like what I saw and how the game felt. I guess I'm just not super excited because it is only a 2v2 gunfight game mode and I'm not able to experience other aspects of the game that I actually want to try out. But anyway, we're talking about this game mode and we're talking about the game as a whole. First thing that I really like was the amount of variety in these very small maps. These maps are really small, obviously made for the 2v2 gunfight game mode, but considering how small they are, I am genuinely amazed at how much variety there is in terms of playstyle on these maps. There is a lot of cover on these maps, it feels a lot more tactical, and there are power positions. Considering how small these maps are, I genuinely can't believe that there are actually power positions. And this gives me a good inclination as to what the maps are going to be like in the full game. I like to know that these maps are a little bit inspired, and I'm hoping that during the full game's release, we have some fantastic maps, because I feel like that is where Call of Duty has really been lacking in the last few years. I like the maps that I played for this game mode, and I'm hoping that when the full game releases, all maps are of this quality, or at least a good majority of them. I'd like to hope for maybe 70 to 80% of maps are very enjoyable. The second thing I want to point out is just how the game runs and how it feels. I am very sorry, but when I was actually recording this footage, I didn't turn off motion blur, or I think it's like film grain or stuff like that. I know that they're two separate settings, but I didn't turn them off when recording this footage, so I'm very sorry if it looks a little bit ugly. Hopefully for the next video that won't be the case. But in terms of the way the game feels, it definitely does not feel as clunky as I initially thought it was going to be. When we first saw gameplay of this game, it looked very slow, it looked very much like Battlefield, but I'm very happy to say that even though it does feel different, it doesn't feel so out of the norm for Call of Duty. There are definitely some innovations in there, or some new things for Call of Duty. I'm not going to say that added recoil on weapons is like innovation or something, but definitely there are some changes that make it different from previous Call of Duties. For example, like I just mentioned, the recoil is a lot different for most weapons. I noticed that weapons actually have recoil. They kick like real weapons in real life, which is great. I think this is a fantastic thing because it allows a different aspect of balance towards certain weapons and a skill curve that actually has to be conquered. I like that not everybody is just going to be able to pick up any weapon in the game and it's just going to act like a laser, and pretty much the only difference is its fire rate and its damage. I think recoil is a good thing, and I'm very happy to see that the weapons in this game, they feel like real weapons, not just because of the recoil, but I'm also going to segue into my next point, and that is the audio. First piece of audio that I want to point out are the gun sounds. Oh my god, the gun sounds sound so great. They just sound so punchy. They sound like real weapons. They sound deafening if they are right next to you, being shot right beside your ear. I have never been around an actual firearm that has been shot, but I would assume that this is pretty similar to that. I don't want to make any assumptions, but definitely the audio sounded good for each weapon. They sound very meaty. I don't really know how else to describe it besides the fact that the weapons sound like they can pack a punch, and they just sound so good. Staying on the topic of audio, footsteps and just audio in general on this game sounds very nice. You can hear footsteps very, very clearly. If you just crouch walk, you can hear everybody running around. I love how distinctive footsteps are in this game, and some people are complaining about that, but I have absolutely no issue with hearing footsteps. I want footsteps to be as loud as possible because I find that it's just another aspect of the game that can make you a better player. You need to be aware of your surroundings, and you need to listen out for these audio cues to understand where enemy positions are and what they're currently doing, so you can be a better player and you can play around what the enemy team are doing. Audio in this game just sounds great, and while I haven't had much experience with the game so far, based off of first impressions, I like the audio. I'm not saying it's perfect, but I honestly hope that it either stays like this or gets even better by the time the full game is released. The next and final point I want to make is just how good this game looks, not just in terms of gameplay, but also in terms of the user interface, which is very nice. I find that Call of Duty Black Ops 4 and some previous Call of Duty games have had a very nasty user interface, but in this game, I really like the user interface in the main menus. I thought they were very nice, very clean, very simple to use and understand how they work. And then in terms of visuals, the game looks stellar. I mean, I was playing on a normal PlayStation 4, not even a PlayStation Pro, and you can see by the footage in this video, the game looks absolutely fantastic. I mean, graphically speaking, this is definitely the most beautiful Call of Duty game we have ever had. It just looks fucking stellar. And this just hypes me up for buying this game on PC, because I'm definitely going to be playing this game on PC this year, and oh my god, if the game looks this good on console, how good is it going to look on my beast-ass computer? Those are pretty much all the points I had to make, and before I wrap this video up here, I want to mention that while I wasn't exactly super excited for this alpha or anything, playing the alpha has gotten me more excited for the upcoming release of the game. And while I'm still skeptical about how microtransactions are going to be handled, as I said, if there are game-changing weapons in the supply drops that can only be unlocked by opening supply drops, well then I probably will just quit the game and go play something else that is a lot more consumer friendly. But overall, to summarize my experience with the game just based off of first impressions, I really liked it. I was genuinely surprised and impressed at what I saw. There were very, very few things that I could complain about, and I'm genuinely hoping that the full game is going to be as high, or if not better quality, than what we saw during this game mode. I went into this with the mindset of trying to nitpick and trying to find things that I didn't like, but they were so far few in between, and yeah, I might be in the honeymoon phase, but I was impressed, man. I thought this was really good, and I'm definitely looking forward to the beta, and I'm of course going to be supplying videos on my channel, so make sure you stay subscribed so you can check those out when they come out. But with that being said, guys, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you smack the like button. If you want to stay up to date with my content, please be sure to subscribe. I'll have my last video in the corner. If you haven't checked that out already, definitely make sure to check it out. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.